I've learned a lot over the 4 decades of health and fitness and being in the trenches with the greatest in the world. And one of those things I've learned a lot more about and how to build better muscle is nutrition and how it has changed over the decades. And that's why I have the Titan meal plan for you guys out there that are confused about nutrition. I'm going to set you straight. Get a hold of me today. The link will be in the comments down below for you guys. Everybody, get over to the Titan meal plan, and I'll see you in the Titan crew where I will fine tune any difficulties that you're having. Hey guys, this is the Mike O'Hearn Show. It is Friday, and I have the incredible man himself, Vlad, on today to talk about some of the movies I have coming out very soon, and then also the Olympia and who our top picks are for the Olympia. So let's get rocking and rolling. Let's get into this.
Mike, I miss you, bro. How you been?
Man, I'm loving life.
I missed you, man. You don't invite me to your show no more, bro. What's up?
Say what?
You don't miss our conversations? Come on, man.
I do miss your conversations. I do miss you. And that's why I think this week is like, I think it's a good week to kind of go over everything that's coming up. And I thought for sure this would be the best because you're in this. You're in the production world. And so I think you can appreciate all the things that are coming out for me, but then also we got the Olympia coming up as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we can cover and discuss.
Absolutely, man. So the magazine Dream's finally coming out soon, right?
I know that's everybody's hype, but there's, since we filmed last, Natty for Life, that's been a little while, right?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years,
But since then, it's like I did this movie Con Man. I've done the Manson Brothers, 7 Deadly Sins.
Mm-hmm.
All those are out now. You can see those like on Prime and stuff and Amazon Prime.
Sure.
But then some TV shows like 9/11 was a blast, and thank you for playing along with those spoofs.
That was a good one.
We had the internet just rolling.
People thought you got arrested for roids, right?
Busted.
And of course you ran with it. You love that type of stuff.
Come on, at the end of the day, I'm strong. I'm living life. I'm enjoying, and we're still here doing our thing. So it's like, yeah, that hate doesn't get nowhere.
Oh, never, man.
So
of course.
And then we just had that did really well, the 30 for 30 by ESPN about the gladiators. And they had 2 different shows. I don't know if everybody knows that, but there was
the Netflix
I
one,
was
right?
I'm glad I was part of the 30 for 30 on ESPN Gladiators. And then there was another one that Nitro, my boy Dan Clark, did that was on Netflix, and they both did really well. But it's cool. It's cool sitting down with my teammates and all that and going over and remembering all the tough stuff and the grind that we went through for those shows. So
what happened to the American Gladiators, man? Because they were really big, right? They kind of just fizzled out after a certain time, or they something happened.
They fizzled off. We killed it in the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then a lot of the discussion was when they did bring it back, and I got to be there being team captain and knocking heads. We were the #1 show on the reboot. And then they kind of at that point, then they went right into the second season, not much of a break. They started coming up with ideas and they overloaded it. Instead of a David and Goliath show, which the fans loved, and just keeping it that metaphor of David and Goliath and see who wins. They started coming up with concepts like, let's tell backstories, make it a reality show, and really care about the contestants or gladiators, and they started giving stories. And it flopped on the second time around.
Were the guys not you, but were the other guys on the show, because there were a lot of huge guys on there, were they on medication of steroids? Or
see, that's the cool thing about, so because I know that Jeffrey pointed this out to me when you guys did the self-proclaimed natty. We thought that was funny because when you guys do your like 1 through 30 people, it said self-proclaimed natty, and it's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Because of the fact that I competed in natural shows and took drug tests and was natural. So it wasn't me saying it, it was doing drug tests in the sense.
Sure.
It's not me going around saying this.
Sure.
I don't care what you think. My point of view, it's that I took the test. But then Gladiators was the same way. When we came back, because it's a game show, you can't be doing stuff.
Right.
And that's the great thing. So they tested us through that. And they tested us on other shows that I did, from Battle Dome to Gladiators. And
Wow,
so,
that's interesting.
yeah, you can't do it because imagine you get this guy that's freaking psyched up and testosterone and doing 750 or 1,750, whatever, going against a person off this D1 athlete, you're ripping his head off. And then it's,
you heard the accusation that Jake Paul or Logan Paul or both are allegedly, I'm saying allegedly, on steroids. Have you heard about that accusation?
I haven't.
You probably don't care, but I heard something recently about that. I think it was Logan Paul, because he's got that fight coming up with Adonis, something like that, boxing match. You must have heard about that thing, right? No,
I heard about the fights and stuff like that, but I didn't hear that people are saying. I mean, they say these actors are on stuff.
Oh yeah,
they're like Ryan Reynolds or what's the Guardian of the Galaxy
Zac Efron,
Thor, or Zac Efron is on stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh,
right?
That's just, you're just trying to get some kind of news. It's like, okay, sure. These guys are 150 pounds. It's like gassed out of their mind. There you go. That's what's going on here.
Well,
I know it's the industry that we live in. If you can't look like that, then there's definitely something they're doing that you're not doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, why work too hard, right?
Exactly. And that's like, it's like, that was the point of my discussion with Kenny KO months and months ago, or a year ago. I don't know when it was, because he kept going back to, well, you're genetically gifted or something like that. And it's like, well, all the pros are genetically gifted in some sense. So that's not the point of it. But when I pulled my girl over and he goes, well, holy, you're talking about a girl with 11 testosterone who just had a kid that's more jacked than you. It's like, and Kenny's gassed out of his mind, for this kind of guy that doesn't look like anything. So it's the industry we live in. But at some point, these people got to figure out that training and eating right is the key points to this stuff. And then if you want to do anything extra, make sure it's extra on top of what you're doing and keeping a healthy lifestyle so you can do this for a lifetime.
I'm also amazed how regimented you are. I mean, you go to bed early, you don't drink, you don't smoke. I mean, that also plays into it, because if you drink for, even casually for, let's say, 30 years of your life, I mean, it adds up,
Yeah, but I mean, I love this stuff, and it's fun for me. And I'm in that circle of people that love this stuff and would do it for free. It's like, what do they say? Find something you love and would do it for free, and you'll do it for a lifetime.
It's funny, Mike, like you have certain boxers or athletes, right? Like they say, even bodybuilders, for example, right? They obviously do it they have a professional career, and if it's a bodybuilder, they have an amazing physique for all those years. If it's a boxer, they stay in shape, right? And they live very regimented lifestyle. But when they retire, right, it's a whole different situation. And you can tell in their physiques and their lifestyle changes completely. Like even certain bodybuilders, you can tell how the body's not, you know what I mean? Like completely different. Obviously, they finish their careers, right? But in your case, your career is your life in a sense. You don't really stop, right? I mean, you adjust, but you don't stop, and you don't kind of let yourself go ever.
Yeah, well, it didn't change. I didn't do anything different. I won the shows and won the powerlifting meets and did it the same way I live that lifestyle today. And I never, so it's like, it's just me aging the best I possibly can in the smartest way I possibly can for a lifetime. And the cool thing about that is that by doing it the way I did it, my joints and my health and everything is in check to where, there's nothing extreme, even at my old age, that I got to, I guess at this stage, worry about or pull back from. Because I do notice that, like, these guys, when I travel and I train with them, it's amazing the level of, I'm done. I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. And what I mean by that is like when we train, I still have fun training. That's why I love like training with somebody like Stan Efron or something. We go off. Or I love young, like 20-year-olds or early 30-year-old guys, because they'll train like beasts. But you walk into a retired guy and they're like, 135 on bench, 30-pound dumbbell curls, and Mona's over here going, this is boring. It's like she's curling 45.
Don't shame them. Come on.
No, but is that not so for some of them? And they're happy with it. They're fine with that. That's what they go. I don't want to do that no more. I'm not going to squat.
There you
go. That's their opinion. For me, I just kind of like the trenches. I like still tussling. I still like to get on the mats and roll.
Right.
I still got that fight, that dog. So
what do you think about a guy, for example, like the guy who likes to train still, but don't like to diet necessarily? So they still gain fat. They don't like the regimented eating. They like to stay out late. They like to go to restaurants. And at some point they still get fat. Do you think if they get a liposuction, that's lame in your opinion?
Louise. Holy cow. You just went Beverly Hills 90210 on me. Liposuction for these guys.
No, the guy loves to train, but he just doesn't like to, you know what I mean, to eat clean like yourself.
Wow, that's such outside of my circle of peers and stuff, because the one thing you would need to be able to do, and this is more apparent to me ever, is like you get to an age, like how old are you now? You're still a pup.
I'm 40 years old.
Okay. Do you eat clean for longevity purposes?
I don't eat clean, actually. I should be eating cleaner. I try, but yeah, I mean, no, it's more like for, not to get carried away into the, you know what I mean?
No, but you're at that age, that turning point of 39 to 40. Now it's like, okay, next stop is 50, Captain. So what's it going to look like? What's your 50 going to look like? And so if there's something in you that goes, hey, I do need to take care of my health. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not 21 no more. I ain't playing D1 ball.
Right.
I got to start taking care of myself and make sure that everything's healthy. So
100%.
It's odd to me. It's odd to me that people that know in the health and fitness world that know training is secondary to nutrition.
Sure.
It would be mind-blowing to me to see that a lot of those people that know that don't stay with healthier nutrition, but there's always some.
But look at C.T. Fletcher. Obviously, you know him very well, right? He, when he was younger, right? He was a power lifter.
No, we power lifted against each other, Kat. If you don't know where the story came from, if you don't know the F. Mike O'Hearn.
Oh man, but I mean, what I'm saying is this about CT specifically, right? He was at a peak athlete at one point, right? And he was getting all these records, bench, this, that, curl, whatever. But he was eating McDonald's like almost every day. He was ginormous. He was huge, right? But obviously, it added up to him obviously getting a lot of unnecessary weight, and then he had a heart attack, right? So the point is, like, he was an athlete, but just sometimes dieting is not what people, necessarily want to do, right?
Well, let's clarify. He was a 20-year-old athlete.
That's true.
We were in our 20s.
100%.
We were 20s eating that way. And I got no issue with, mostly the way I was raised in that powerlifting world. I had no problem with powerlifters eating calorie intake to get up to like him, 275, close to 3 bills or whatever. It's like, we'd eat high carbs, high fat, high proteins. So I don't know if that was the cause later on in life. But in that sense, look how he eats now.
Oh yeah, completely different, of course.
Oh, he's on it. He's precise. When I go down there, hey, do you want some meals? He's got his packaged meals right there ready to go, and he's got extras for me. So that's the point I'm talking about. That's the guy I like, because he knows how important the training is, again, secondary to the healthy eating lifestyle and making sure you're healthy. I think it's a great point, though. It's most people, when they do retire, they kind of give up on everything. But when they're giving up on everything, they're still in their 30s, possibly, late 20s, 30s, which you can get by eating, McDonald's or whatever it is. But when you start getting 40s and 50s, you start thinking about your rest of your life, this next 40, what's it going to look like?
Absolutely. So liposuction would be lame in your opinion
Jeez
for a guy to
Louise,
get.
man. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. Couldn't see the guys be doing that. Not the health and fitness guys.
Well,
And
guys
no,
get all types of things that night these days. Guys get, for example, all types of procedures. You know what I mean? Facials, nails done. Botox, whatever. I mean, people like a lot of things change, right? A perception of what masculinity is kind of like a little bit different now. So I'm just saying, I feel like it's a cool subject matter, right? What's acceptable, what's not acceptable by the fitness world,
by the fitness world. Yeah, now you threw me because that's a tough one. I would hope, and I see your point, but yeah, if the person wants to get lipo to get a kickstart on it, I got no issue. I got no issue with anybody doing whatever the freak they want. I don't care. It doesn't interfere or bug my life whatsoever.
I hear
You know
you.
what I mean?
I hear you.
So it's like my circle. My circle is very small, very small. If you are confused about training, do not worry. That's what the Titan training plan is for. For you guys to subscribe to this plan, you also get the additional coaching from me in the Titan private group. Get in there today, and I cannot wait to start working with you and making your dreams come true. Let's get back to the show.
All right, Mike. So you want to talk about the Olympia? What do you want to go to next?
Who do you got? Who do you got in the open?
Well, first of all,
bodybuilding.
I think Hadi will is the most favorite to win. We just had this conversation with Victor Martinez the other day. Literally, we were just talking about that, right? So, because we were all surprised that Big Ramy kind of pulled out of the Olympia, and everybody thinks that there was no way of him placing well anymore. So he kind of wanted to take a break, not necessarily retire, but take a break after what happened at the last year's Olympia and Arnold. But I think Hadi will bring the probably the most freakish physique of his whole career. And obviously you have Samson, who's gonna put on a big fight, Nick Walker, and of course Derek Lunsford will bring probably his best physique also, because they're both trained by the same guy, Hani, right? So he'll make sure they both deliver. But ironically, both former 212 guys are now in a conversation for the Mr. Olympia, right? That's the most crazy. That's the craziest thing to me personally. Like last year, we weren't even talking about it necessarily. I mean, we were talking about it, but not to that extent, because it was a Nick Walker and Hunter Labrada. You know what I mean?
Samson.
Andrew Jack, yeah, Samson. I mean, those guys are still in the conversation, of course. But the two guys that everybody's talking about the most right now is obviously Hadi and Derek Lunsford, and I feel like if it's going to be super super close. And that's what Victor said yesterday when I was talking to him. If it's going to be super, super close, like if it's like almost the same, then Derek might most likely get it. That's what Victor thought. I mean,
I think Derek. Yeah, I think he looks incredible. Holy shnikes, man! He's just growing and keeping that taper. It's just awesome. And then Samson is absolute.
Yeah.
His structure is just whew. So those are two guys that I would say they bring it. Yeah, outstanding. What do you got for classic? I think C-Bum walks away again.
Yeah,
takes it.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have to put money on it, I would put it on him. I mean, I saw him a couple of months ago. It was still like before the prep, but I saw a video of him the other day, and he keeps improving. You know what I mean? And as long as he's improving, I feel like he's going to be.
He was already. It was him, and then the rest of the crew. And so, if he improved even more, man, that's gold. That's gold. And I think he's great for the sport.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest name in the fitness right now, like across the board. You know what I mean? As far as like the influencer, athlete, everything, just like almost like yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about that though? That being like him being more popular than the bodybuilding?
I mean, it's kind of like I think in many ways it's social media, right? I mean, it's just like I think
The new age.
his followers, the maybe like a certain amount of them care about his fitness, I mean his bodybuilding career, obviously, right? But I feel like at least half of them probably just discovered him because they like his personality or his look or what he has to say, you know. So I think it's 50-50 for him, honestly. He's in that sweet spot, you know what I mean? He's definitely caught the wave. And
Don't you think that's good though for health and fitness? I mean, because think about it. It's Arnold. Arnold caught the wave and made bodybuilding what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately, like let's say when he wins the Olympia, he makes a post, "I won the Olympia." Ultimately, a lot of the fans that didn't care about it, they're gonna, you know, at least check it out. Like, what is the Olympia, you know? And they go and check it out. And some, of course, many of them will not like it, but at least some of them will appreciate it. You know what I mean? So it's more exposure right now. When we first came into this industry, right? It was only bodybuilding news outlets reporting on the results of Olympia. Now you have the Bleacher Report. You know, you have some big news outlets picking up and reporting at least on Olympia and on a Classic. You know what I mean? So they're definitely like they're picking up on it to a degree. So that's a positive thing, I think.
I think it's the change. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And it made me think because I got this movie that's coming out. I think it's to be exact, Friday the 13th. Divinity. I got this movie coming out Friday the 13th and Divinity. And I co-star with Stephen Dwarf, who doesn't have a social media presence. And so I see the company in the studio using me a lot because I have much more of a fan base to the world than he does. So it's kind of cool to see that. And the change of this is even happening now in Hollywood, that it's a cool thing to see.
Sure.
That the fan base is now playing a part in all aspects, in all sports, and all stuff. So
tell me about that movie. Tell me about that movie, Mike, because I saw the trailer and it was bugged out. To be perfectly honest, I mean, in a good way. In a good way. Like, tell me.
That's why October. That's why Friday the 13th. It's a cool movie. It's futuristic. It is about possibility of living forever. And I play Stephen Dwarf's brother. Younger brother in this movie. Serge, you can come in, kid. Get to work, man. Look, my crew's all in here like, hey, you guys have work. I can handle this cat by myself. So it's a cool movie. It's going to be very edgy. Trying to think of the Bruce Willis movie that was black and white and also Sin City. So when you watch the trailer, and we'll post this trailer here for you guys that are watching this worldwide. You can watch this trailer, but you'll be able to see that feel of Sin City in this, and it's ferocious. That's the cool thing. It's so ferocious. This movie.
Is it a horror? Is it a horror or a thriller?
It's a thriller. It's a thriller, even though there's some very toxic stuff in it. Divinity is actually the name of the movie, but it's also the product that is used to help us live forever. And it does enhance you. Odd. Sounds like something in the fitness industry. I don't know what, but anyways, it's a cool process. But yeah, you're gonna actually like this because of it's what it's talking about, the possibility of living forever. And
do you take off your shirt in the movie?
Dude, I popped that top. I popped the top a few times. I smashed some people's heads in. I mutate a little bit. But yeah, no, it's a great movie. It was a great project and great arc for me just to learn from. And Steven Soderbergh is the producer, who's one of the biggest Hollywood producers.
Awesome.
In the world. He's one of the biggest, not Hollywood, but producers in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's nice to be able to work with somebody at that level.
Yeah, top notch for sure. When is it? It's coming out October 13th.
October 13th. October 13th. So we got a couple weeks for this. A little red carpet action. You know how it goes. So I get to do that, and then the Olympia.
You gotta bring me to your world, bro.
It's happening, and then I think. The week after, no, I do know it's the week after Thanksgiving, the big one. Well, they're all big, but Magazine Dream comes out
That's
The
the
week
one.
after Thanksgiving, they're pushing that one because of the Oscar buzz around it.
Awesome.
So that's going to be a good one. And I popped the top again in that bad boy.
I knew it, bro. I knew
Yeah.
it. You can't help yourself.
I can't. I just, man, if they got the cameras on me, throw some good light, a little fog action. I'm a little hip thrust and a little shirt comes off.
Mike, you should have Tony Pearson on your show. We're actually releasing a documentary next Friday, October 6th. The life story of Tony Pearson, of course. If the younger generation don't know who he is.
No, let me explain who that is.
Yeah, please.
Because I've already messaged him and texted him saying, I need you to get on here. Tony was the guy that I got to see as a kid on TV, Wild World of Sports. And remember Tim Belknap and him, and Tony was phenomenal, beautiful physique, and still look at that cat. You know, he's not a spring chicken, but he sure looks like a 20-year-old cat. He's incredible
Guy, and
go for it.
The story is
Tell me about Driven, because you guys did Driven.
We're putting this movie out, very excited to work with his team. He has a great team behind him as well. The guys who put the movie together, actually. And the story is phenomenal. I actually interviewed Tony, I think it was during the pandemic. So he scratched the surface in the interview, what he went through growing up. Overcoming obviously the times where he was coming up in this world, but the family issues and just all the drama that he went through. I don't want to give too much away, but I want people to really see it. The trauma that he went through and still was able to make it, right? And make it big in bodybuilding. Obviously, his posing was one of the best guys in posing. They call him the Michael Jackson of bodybuilding. He did the whole routine with the Michael Jackson hat and music, But and then how he kind of developed his life forward, you know what I mean, and was able to stay positive throughout all the good and the bad, you know what I mean. So that, to me, that's a motivational story personally.
I agree with you, and then mostly not knowing in depth his whole life story. I can tell you this: for the decades that I've known him, his personality is so calm and cool, and kind, humble. And he's a workhorse, and hence driven. I'm curious to see if it was, and I'm assuming, it doesn't give you anything away, but I'm assuming that the weightlifting kept him grounded and kept him in that positive light to kind of make it through a toxic upbringing, if that's what happened.
Oh yeah, many ways saved his life. But you know what's really cool, and this is like a side note, you know who's in this movie also? Fabio. Remember Fabio?
Of course I do.
They're friends. Isn't that crazy? I thought it was the best cameo ever, man. You don't see Fabio in many movies.
No, you don't. Right? Not anymore. You'll see him with me in Death Becomes Her back in 1990. But yeah.
Well, that's a throwback, bro.
It was a throwback. Nice. That's awesome. And Fabio's a good cat as well. Smart
cat. Yeah. Great guy.
Holy sheesh, man. But I'm glad and so you're not going to give us a prediction for number one, Mr. Olympia?
Yeah, Hadi. I'll pick Hadi.
Okay, I'll go Derek.
I mean, we're going to be close.
We're going to be close, but so far apart. It's going to be so sad. Are we going to put money on this? That's what I'm asking, though.
Okay, I'll put $5.
All right, done. I'll take that.
Let's do it.
And then nobody's putting money on C-Bomb because we know he's going to walk away with it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then I got to hang out with Banks, Mr. Olympia physique, Aaron Banks. What a good cat.
Oh, in Mexico, yeah? In Mexico, yeah. I met him briefly, but I did say hi to him. Yeah. First time I actually seen him in person. Yeah, very nice guy for sure.
Dude is as tall as me, and he has a 25-inch waist.
Yeah.
Holy. Good cat. Yeah. I think
you think he's gonna win this year?
I do.
You know, Jeremy Buendia is coming back.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I think
exclusive.
I'm hoping for Aaron. He's a good guy. He's good for the sport. And just wow, what a shape and genetics this kid has.
Yeah,
Talk about 25-inch waist. That's crazy for a kid that tall.
That's incredible, huh?
With that wide collarbone and those shoulders he has, yeah.
No, is that genetics? The 25-inch waist? That's genetically your structure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he was born with that. But here's the thing. Like, again, you don't know what your genetics is until you get up there and do it. Go look at some photos of him when he was going through some hardship and some rough times.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think anything. You look at some of the photos, you go, this guy's not gonna create this physique that he has. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to see his before and after. I'd love to throw that up there too, man. We got to put up his before and after that he posted. That I
I like that idea.
Is you just, for anybody out there going, and this is, I love that Mike Mentzer or Lee Haney or all these people, Kai Green talking about it. It's like, stop saying if you have genetics before you freaking start. You know, potential and genetics is something you find out after the fact.
Sure.
And so this kid just kind of shows you the pinnacle of what he looks like when he started, and then just a few years later, this guy's the crown. He's the captain. He's the champ. Mm-hmm. And it's like that's a cool thing about health and fitness. And then you go to the other side of it, and we talked about it, like Driven with Tony Pearson, who's still doing it today at his young age of looking 25 years old.
Exactly.
So
I'm excited about the Divinity, right? I'm excited about the project. Obviously, Magazine Dreams.
I think everybody's excited about Magazine Dreams. And we will get there. We will get there in December. But watch this. I think you guys are going to love this one of Divinity. And the start of, because I got Divinity, I got Book of Cain coming out, and then Magazine Dreams. And then we got a Christmas movie coming out that I'm doing, and a cowboy movie.
You play Santa Claus?
I wish. But if I do get jolly, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out today, brother.
Great talking to you, man. Great to see you. Hopefully see you in person soon, man.
Absolute. We'll talk soon.
Peace.
All right. Comment below on who got the pick for this. Again, I'm thinking Mr. Olympia is going to be Derek or Samson. Nick is right there with them. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. And then I think C-Bum walks with his. I think he's just complete. And if he's getting better, that's a hard thing to beat. And then Aaron Banks, my man, kick ass. Enjoy that. And then you guys, Divinity, you'll be able to see this October 13th. That is my movie coming out. And we'll talk about the other movies as they get closer for release dates. But this movie will be released worldwide in theaters. Enjoy the day.